All right, welcome in to Arkansas Sports Now. We're going to talk a little bit about what happened over the weekend in high school sports. Obviously, championship games were the call of the weekend, and we had a great time checking in on who was going to win each state championship. And then, of course, we have our rankings that we're going to talk about and finish up our basketball rankings for the 25-26 season. Glad to have you along here. Brad Caldwell here, and you've got Justin Smith. He's over there in his hunter orange jacket.
It is cold out there.
Well,
That wind is brutal.
It does feel like hunting season again, doesn't it?
Yeah, it feels like we're in Oklahoma, God forbid.
You know, I actually felt that way yesterday when I was at the McDonald's drive-through, and the wind was just blowing so hard. I thought it feels like Kansas. And
Just shaking your
right.
truck.
Oh yeah, for sure. Anyway, we've got Colby Wade in, says, yo, Colby, what's going on? Appreciate you joining us here. Glad to have you along. Again, it's been a great weekend for sports. If you're a Razorback fan especially.
Oh, yeah.
My gosh.
Still can't believe it.
Yeah.
It's freaking awesome.
You know those memes with Ric Flair as he walks in,
Yeah.
doing what Ric Flair does. That's kind of what Razorback fans feel like right now.
Oh, God, you better.
As Arkansas won the SEC championship. I was 19 years old the last time Arkansas won a SEC championship. I was 13 years old the last time Arkansas won a national championship. Yeah. And the thing that I loved this morning, and I don't think Arkansas is going to win the national championship in basketball.
Somebody does. I literally saw somebody predict them to win against Duke.
I was just going to say, they had Arkansas winning the national championship. You just hadn't seen that. And, again, since I was a teenager, and they're picking Arkansas to win the national championship, that's a fun time. They're not going to win the national championship. I'm just going to tell you that right now. If they do, I'll come over here and eat crow pie all day long and be glad to do it. I'm just telling you, they're not going to win it all. But I think they can make a run. They're playing well right now, and I think they've stepped it up a level.
They really have.
Trevin Brazile. If you get that Trevin Brazile for the rest of the time, they may not win it, but they're going to go. It's going to be a hard fight.
Yeah.
It's going to be a hard fight. I look at Arizona. I think Arizona's a terrible matchup, but
it is.
We'll see. We'll see what happens. Anyway, it was a great weekend for sports, high school sports. Always a celebration going down to Hot Springs at Bank OZK Arena. I think since they've moved those championships down there, it has been a great thing.
Yep.
The arena, the venue is perfect. I mean, if you really have a game that a lot of people want to watch, it might be a little too small, but I mean that's a one-off. That's a every great once in a while type of thing that happens. Usually, I think it seats 6,500. And usually you're in a perfect spot. You don't want it to be too big and swallow up everybody that comes in the building. And so
no,
I didn't see any this weekend that was a threat to really just fill it up the building. But anyway, great time there, and again, great championship matchups and. I thought we had some pretty good games overall. I mean, the Barton and
Mount Vernon.
There we go. I was thinking, I was trying to call him Nemo Vista. That right there, I feel like was a little unfortunate for Mount Vernon and Nola because they just got a team that just think about this. They they won that game. Barton won that game 89-42. Mount Vernon and Nola beat them in the regional tournament. They just ran into a buzzsaw. And Barton played about as good as they could. In fact, I would say Barton would have won several classification championships this weekend because they played so well.
Yeah.
And that was the only game that really stood out as a blowout. Everything else was pretty tight for the most part. Games coming down to the very end, and a lot of good games. A lot of good games, and Really, outside of Earl and Osceola, you had several new champions. Well, Bryant as well.
Yeah.
And does Parkview actually count as a new champion? And they haven't won it since 18, but they haven't won in a while. But they're back on top again with their victory over Marion. And just a lot of good performances. I think that's what you get, right? When you get to the end of this thing, you get good performances. Earl, boys and girls, congratulations on your victories. That's always a special year when you can win 2 state championships, one in the boys, one in the girls. Quitman girls, we never had Quitman at number 1 all year long. They were always up at the top.
Yeah.
But they showed their fire and their grit by the end of the year, and they showed why they were number 1. Manila girls as well, kind of same type of thing. We didn't have them number 1 for most of the year or all of the year. We sat here. I said it. I mean, I'll own up to things that I say. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And I said Greenland. I said Mountain View. I said Dover. One of those 3 will win it. Manila beat 2 of those 3 on the way to the championship. And then beat McGee in the championship. Pulaski Academy, a great bounce-back year for Pulaski Academy after losing the state championship last year. A team that's full of juniors, but they are moving to 5A, so they'll have to play against the Farmington Juggernaut.
Yahoo!
Right? The Farmington Juggernaut has won 4 in a row.
Yeah.
And they don't look like there are any signs of stopping.
No, not at all. They're really good.
And then Coach Fimple there at North Little Rock, I think he won his 10th state championship. And big win there for him. So there was a lot of good stuff going on this weekend. Champions. Let's go to 1A. Let's talk about the rankings here. And
Already ready?
I'm ready if you're ready.
Already up?
Already up.
Yeah,
huh?
1A girls.
And I'm looking over here because I got my computer monitor over here. This computer monitor right here is actually black. And so I've got my computer monitor over here, so I'm seeing everything that's going on over there. I don't have it here, so I can't see. There we go. Now it's on my screen.
Hang on just a second. Let me get it. Is this connected to the
You know what? That's not even powered on right now. Just don't worry about it.
That's fine. Turn it on. I'm ready. I can put it up.
All right. Well, let's see if I can get it up here. Power of live production, right? Right here, right now. I know we're stretching that cord about as far as it'll go.
We'll move it closer to you, Brad.
There we go. Got it. Got power now. There we go. I've got home screen anyway. There we go. Now I got it. Our final 1A girls rankings, Earl, Westside Greers Ferry, Norfolk, Viola, Sacred Heart, Lafayette County, Augusta, Bradley, County Line, Taylor. So now, Justin, you got some input on this.
Oh, yeah.
So
that is probably as accurate as you can get. I think Viola and Norfolk could be switched either way because they both had 2 good semifinal games.
Out of the region, Norfolk came out of 3rd, and Viola came out as 4.
Oh, yeah.
And that was
Yeah.
where that was the difference. I mean, they both were in the semifinals. So
Yeah. It literally flip a coin.
Exactly.
Literally flip a coin with those 2.
Exactly.
Sacred Heart was the bigger surprise for me.
Yeah.
They played really good. Small school right down the road in Moulton.
Yeah.
They beat Taylor in the first round, which I do have to say half the Taylor girls were sick with the flu playing in that game. I feel so terrible because, ifs and buts is candies and nuts. But
right.
if I just wonder what the outcome would have been if they would have been healthy. Augusta, Jiraiya, she had a really good tournament. Both their guards, were really good. Lafayette County, they were tough. My gosh. That's you could change a few here and there, but that's about as close as you can get it.
Okay, so this is how we rank them. So I feel like we get. So I guess anybody that does rankings gets pushed back, right?
Oh yeah.
Because my team's better than that. My team's better than this one. I'm better than you. You're better than me. Whatever, right? So I feel like when you get to the end, the least subjective way to rank these is to just rank them, slot them, basically.
Yeah.
So, your champions 1, your runner-ups 2, and then your semifinalists are 3, 4, and then your second round 5, 6, 7, 8, those that lose in the second round. And then you're going to have 2 that come in at the end that had lost in the first round. It's just how it works.
Yep.
And so that was how it worked with this. Now, am I saying that Taylor can't beat Sacred Heart if they played again? Yeah.
Nope.
They probably could. I'm not saying they could.
You're
right?
not saying it. Yeah.
Am I saying that Bradley could beat Taylor? I'm sure. I think they played each other. But
many times.
But here's the thing. Here's the thing about it. To me, at some point, I feel like you got to reward people for winning. I mean, at the end of the day, that's where we're at with this. So we are rewarding people for winning.
Taylor and County Line both won a lot of games.
Exactly.
All those teams won a bunch of games.
But the ones that 5 through 8, they ended up in the second round. 3 and 4 were in the semis, and then 1 and 2 were in the finals. That's kind of how we did it, and we went down the line that way. Is it the perfect way to do it? No, there's all kinds of ways to do it. I mean, I know that some people would rather say, well, I think that, Lafayette County can beat Norfolk. Well, they might be able to, but they didn't make it as far in the tournament. So.
Yep.
Let's go to 1A boys real quick.
Find it.
Now, there is one that's kind of out of slot there. Did you see that one when I sent it? The 4A girls,
I found them.
I sent it in a separate message.
Yeah,
All right.
I got it all.
Earl Clarendon, Crowley's Ridge, Jasper. Nevada, Bradford, County Line, Dermont, Mark Tree, Lead Hill.
Yeah.
Now Lead Hill came into the tournament as the number 2 team, and they lost in that first round, And so losing in that first round makes it to where, you fall out. I felt like Lead Hill had a really good year.
Yeah, they did.
And because of
they
that.
They stormed really out of nowhere midway through the season and just, I'm not saying shocked people, but right. they made a good showing of themselves.
Well, and because of that, I felt like that they deserved to be in the top 10. Mark Tree come out of nowhere at the end and played really well. And, I really thought Mark Tree might make a little bit more noise than they did in the tournament. They got beat in that first round. I think that was – who did they get beat by? Do you remember? Here, I will go and tell you here in just a second. Anyway, Mark Tree beat Earl. I believe it was in the district finals. County Line beat Mark Tree by 2.
Yeah, that was a great game.
Right.
It really, really was. It was a great game.
So, anyway, County Line gets the 7 spot. Dermont gets in the 8 spot. They were able to win. I think they beat Blevins.
Yeah.
In that first round.
Yeah, shocked Blevins in the first round.
And beat them 21.
Yeah.
Then Jasper was able to beat them.
Jasper was really good.
Yeah.
My gosh. They
just ran into the juggernaut called Earl,
they did.
Right?
That's really – Jasper, they play such good defense. And everybody else, if they would have had to play anybody else, they probably won the game. Not against Earl. Earl was just too much.
Well, CRA might have something to say about it.
CRA might have something to say about it, too.
CRA was one of those teams that stayed with Earl and beat Earl one time this year. Bradford was a team that, 21 points. That Earl won the semifinal by 40 or 31. And then they won the championship game by 12, although that was probably a little closer than the score indicated there. But Bradford had one of their all-time teams. They had a really good team this year.
3 boys with over 1,000 points and, tons of assists and rebounds between them. They had a great career together.
And that Nevada Crowley's Ridge game was an all-time classic there in the second round.
Man.
79-72 there. Crowley's Ridge came across and won. So they ended up as the number 3 team overall in the 1A. And then Jasper fell to 4 after getting beat pretty good there by Earl.
Yep.
I feel like when you compare the two, the fact that CRA was able to beat Earl at one point, Jasper, the only shot that they got hammered pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
No shame in that.
No,
Number
it's
4 for the season.
Earl's doing that to most teams. They really
Right.
did.
Right.
Shout out to Roof Raiders for helping put the 1A on,
Yes.
sponsoring all of our videos,
Highlight
highlight
videos,
reels, which the best highlight reel, I think it's at like 178K right now.
Yeah.
Views was Parker Manning and Bradford in that 3-point shot to put it in overtime. Great game that one was, man. That was a fun game to watch. We had 2 overtime games that day. It was a great day.
All right, so let's move on to 2A here. Now, 2A is going to be a little different. It might be controversial. I'll explain myself here as we go.
Girls.
Yes, 2A girls. Let's start there. No real controversy here in the girls. Quitman, Sloan, Hendricks, Dirks, Southside, Poen, Barton, Riverside, Mount Vernon, Enola, Buffalo Island, and East Poinsett County.
Great season for all those teams.
So we talked about, I believe, several times, 7 teams that had a chance to win the 2A girls.
Yeah,
And
really.
And you look at that, the top 7 are still there. It's the same group. Then you got Mount Vernon and Enola came in. They surprised a little bit toward the end there. Not to say it's a surprise that Mount Vernon gets to the second round because they've been so successful. But I mean, this year was a down year for them, but still able to get to round 2. Dirks hammered them pretty good. Dirks and Poen, those 2 next year. That's going to be a battle. That's going to be something. It's going to be a battle for sure. Southside came out with probably the shocker of the tournament by beating Poen at their place there in the second round, 46-45. I mean, that was undefeated Poen losing in round 2. Same spot that Dover lost in.
Yeah.
That Thursday night spot, first game of round 2. Poen undefeated, Dover undefeated. They both lost in that. So we had no undefeated teams that ended up all the way through the season. Looking at this again, Barton, Demaya Wilson, fantastic.
Do you have any comments showing up?
Huh?
Do you have any comments from anywhere showing up?
Man, I'll tell you what, yesterday when we did this, it was very light. Nobody was commenting.
Nobody talking to us.
It's right. I know. It was crazy. We did the NCAA bracket. By the way, go to our pages. I've got it pinned at the top. We're going to pay out 3 places, $100 for first, $50 for second, $25 for third. If we have to break a tie in third, we'll break the tie. But we made it a private group just because we didn't want Al from New York getting in. We wanted to keep our people together. So on our bracket, it is ASN or ASN High School. You can look at both. It's the Arkansas Sports Network, and the password is Go Hogs, capital G, capital H, 247. And you can get in our group and possibly win a little bit of money for your picks. So get in there. Anyway, I don't see anything really crazy to talk about here. I'm looking at the scores here from the state. Again, Southside Poen, that was big. And then you had Sloan Hendricks winning big in the semifinals. That Quitman Dirks game, a little bit better, but 15-point difference there for Quitman. And then Quitman ended up beating Sloan Hendricks by 9 in the final. I don't see anything really that just jumps off the page there. That's huge surprises, I'll say that, except for the Poen Southside game, which being at Poen. All right, let's go to the 2A boys, and this is where we're going to talk a little bit about what happened here.
There we go.
Which I know that we've talked ad nauseum about 2A boys and what happened, but you're going to see that England is not in our top 10.
Yep.
Okay, so in my opinion, does this matter a whole lot? Maybe it doesn't. I just felt like, I felt like we probably needed to just do that.
Oh, I had a comment. Cedric Harris at Clarion was number 10 all year. What a season. 3rd championship run since 2010, yeah.
Yeah.
Had a heck of a year. They come in strong in the postseason and just, showed everybody what they were about. They really did.
Right. Crystal Stewart, she's in the comments. She said, ready for 3A boys. We'll get to that in just a moment. But anyway, talking about 2A boys, I left England out of the top 10. Some people would have done it differently. And as far as just the team goes, they're probably the third best team in at least by the ranking. The fact that they lost the semifinals, they're probably number 3. But I just felt like, everything that went down, there's repercussions for everything. And, maybe as small as this might be, I felt like this was the best way to go.
Yeah.
So Barton, Mount Vernon, and Nola, some people would argue, well, Barton beat Mount Vernon and Nola by the amount that they did. Yeah, that's true, they did. Mount Vernon and Nola also beat them in the regional tournament. I think if you played that game over, things would be differently, but not necessarily Barton would lose. But I don't know that you're going to see a 47-point difference there.
Yeah.
You just ran into a buzzsaw. Mount Vernon and Nola absolutely ran into a buzzsaw. And, again, we touched base with these kids and with Coach Blocker there, and we talked to them. And congratulations on a great year. I know it's got to be hard to have dealt with the fact of the difference in the final, but it is what it is. It just it just one of them things that you ran into a motivated team, you ran into a team that couldn't miss a shot. I mean, it was wild.
Literally.
So anyway, Barton, Mount Vernon, Enola, Sloan, Hendricks, Hampton, Hector, Woodlawn, Izard County, East Poinsett County, White County Central, and Junction City. Round out our 2A boys, our rankings. Hampton had a really good year. Hector had a really good year. Izard County really played well in the state tournament, did well.
They did.
East Poinsett County, that was probably the surprise of the tournament there. Seeing them go out in round 1. That was definitely something that wasn't expected. They were the 2-time defending champions, I believe. So, a lot of good teams in 2A this year, but I felt like this is the best way to go about it. All right, let's look at 3A girls real quick. I'm looking here. Crystal, we're getting to 3A boys. Barton did it with barely 5 players. That is insane. Barton picked the best day to have their best day. That's true. They did. And they were impressive. No doubt about it.
What have you seen that on?
I'm looking at high school.
I ain't seen nothing.
Clarendon number 10, that was
Okay.
Cedric Harris, and then he come back with the Barton 5 players. All right, 3A girls, Manila, McGee, Greenland, Mountain View, Dover, Episcopal, Dumas, Harding Academy, Bergman, and Melbourne. When I looked at this tournament here, I felt like this was one of the more competitive tournaments that there was.
Very competitive.
A lot of close scores in this one. Some surprises, in my opinion. I mean, again.
Dover losing.
Not
being, at least in the semis, was a shocker to me.
It was. But, Manila really played well. They stepped their game up at the end of the year. And, I did say here toward the end of the year, I said, I think you've got to put Manila in that mix. I'd said the top 3 were Greenland, Mountain View, Dover. And I said, I think you got to start putting Manila in that mix. And then, looked at the regional tournament. Manila came out as the 3 out of that region. They lost to Mountain View by 1 at their home floor. And then they just really turned it on. They played well. And, they ended up winning the championship. And, man, they're solid. Got some good pieces coming back from next year. McGee, this is a surprise, obviously being number 2 at the end of the year. They've got some good pieces coming back as well. I mean, it would not be unfathomable to see those 2 teams meet up again.
No, not at all.
I think Mountain View is going to have something to say about that. Greenland as well.
Of course, me and Brad were actually there for the 3A. We went and watched those games. The only 2 games that we got to go watch. We were just busy with life and family otherwise.
Yes. And,
Brad was sick quite a bit all last week. So.
Yeah. Well, this is our this is our busy time of year as well with kids, and I coach my kids' baseball team, and my daughter plays softball, and it's just busy time, just like everybody else.
Oh yeah, just like everybody else. We humans,
right? Dover, Episcopal, those 2 teams come out of the same region, played each other pretty tough. Dover came out on top of that one, so Dover at 32-1 comes in at number 5. Dumas played well, beat Bergman early in the tournament by 1, and they really gave some trouble there. Let me look here real quick. In the round 2 to Greenland, 56-48. That was a real closer game there. I mean, looking at these second-round games, Manila won against Dover by 10. That one kind of got away at the end. It was a lot closer than that. Greenland, 56-48 over Dumas. McGee beat Episcopal by 2. And then Mountain View beat Harding Academy by 31. So that was the only game, and really one of the very few games in the bracket. I think there were actually 3 that were above, well, 4. 5. There are 5 of the 16 games that were above 10 points. Every other game, 11 games in that bracket that were 10 points or below.
Dang.
Pretty good tournament there.
It really was.
Bergman, they come in, even though they lost in the first round, they got beat by Dumas by 1. They were 9, and Melbourne, just right there. They're the same. Really them and Bergman battled it out all year long, so they ended up being the 10th ranked team to finish the season. Let's go to the boys.
If and I can find it, there it is.
Osceola, man, Osceola has just shown over the last couple of years how good that they are. They were really, really good in that championship game.
Yeah, they were in control pretty much the whole game.
Man, but give a lot of credit to Newport. Newport's
they didn't quit.
They're a good basketball
They
team. And what a year for Newport, right? They won every game, but they played Osceola 5 times. They lost to them 4. And every game that they played Osceola was within 5 points.
Yep.
And Osceola was just able to come out on top every time. So that was big. Bergman and Newport coming out at the end. Bergman, man, I'll tell you right now, you just got to give it up for Bergman. They're always solid. Every time you think Bergman's done and you have shoveled a little dirt on the grave of Bergman boys.
Yeah, they come right back.
They're right there. So always good. Rivercrest came out of nowhere and never was ranked all year long, but finished 4th. And
they got Jaden Young back at the right time.
They got Jaden Young back.
Yeah. Buddha Harris had a heck of a season by himself, but the combo of him and Jaden Young,
absolutely,
my goodness, they're fun to watch.
Man, I'll tell you what,
those kids.
I'm shocked. I'm really shocked that Rivercrest didn't get a championship. Of course, we watched Osceola. They had Cash Spann.
Yeah.
Spann started out over there. Well, I say started out. He was over at Rivercrest at some point. And I know those guys kind of go back and forth. So it's actually hard to keep up with who was where and when and what, right?
It really is.
Subiaco and Paris and Providence Academy, all in the same region. They all came out 5, 6, and 7. Riverview, Lamar, and Rosebud. Lamar, they lost to Riverview 56-53 in round 1. That was a great game. I think Lamar actually led that game by just a couple points toward the end, but Riverview was able to pull it out, which I know those guys over at Riverview were excited because they've been upset in round 1 a couple years in a row there. Of course, then they ran into the Bergman buzzsaw, and Bergman was playing well. Rosebud was playing really well toward the end of the year. Paris beat them by 2, 50-48 in round 1. So I felt like they probably deserved to get there. I mean, you could probably argue for other teams, but that was how it kind of rolled out with us.
Got a few comments on Facebook. Corey Matthews said if Hudson Rourke doesn't roll his ankle in the 4th quarter, Sloan might be at number 2.
Yeah.
Possible right there. David Bartlett said good season for his McGee Lady Owls. Yeah. I was cheering for the Owls myself. I met a friend down there, just like 9th grade, like a guy named Justin White from McGee. I just known him ever since. Corey also saying Sloan girls moving up to 3A next year and only losing 1 senior. And that I'm sure Coach Wilson feels real good about that, as he should.
Yeah.
I'm not saying 3A is going to be any easier than the 2A has been, but there's no reason to think that they can't compete with that competition and make it a state again.
Right.
And then Aaron Lindsay wondering where Flippin's at.
Well, I actually looked at Flippin, but it's hard to rank Flippin at the end just because they lost the regional. I know exactly where it's, again, when we talk about how we rank the final, I talk about that I'm slotting teams basically at the end. Why? Because it's not as subjective. Could we go back and do a ranking, like a power ranking? Sure, Flippin will be there, and Flippin will be up there at the top again next year when you're talking about teams that will play, deep into the tournament. And I think that this year will motivate Flippin to play more and do well next year. It just this ranking right here. Again, to the winners go the spoils, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's just kind of how it works. Do like Flipping for next year, and Aaron, they'll be all right. And I mean, I get everything you're saying. I see it all there. I don't disagree with any of it. It's just that when you talk about top 10, you're ranking the final. You're ranking people that made state. I mean, that's just kind of how it works. Let's look at 4A girls real quick.
Let's see, 4A girls. Hey, what do you know? My Apaches made it.
Yeah, man. Yeah. So that one was an interesting one as I went through the end there. Pulaski Academy finishes out at the top. Pete Ridge comes in right behind. Man, Pulaski Academy looked good toward the end of the year.
Really
they really were playing well. Robinson and Southside came in at 3 and 4. Really the difference in those two was the margins of victory in the semifinals.
Yep.
Nashville comes in at 5. Southside beat Nashville in round 2. Shocker of the tournament. I think everybody had really kind of written Nashville into that final game. The way Pulaski Academy was playing, though, I'm not totally sure that had they gotten past Southside, Pulaski Academy probably would have beat Nashville at least.
Yeah.
And, of course, again, it doesn't matter because Southside beat them.
Yeah.
Southside ran into a buzzsaw when they played Pulaski Academy in that semifinal.
Yeah, they did.
Shiloh Christian, a very solid season.
Yeah, they did.
Really good
Got
team.
to see them in regionals. They were really good.
They played Robinson very tough. They could have very easily been in that semifinal, which would have been an interesting dynamic because they'd already played Pea Ridge so many times.
Yeah.
So, anyway, it would have been interesting. Heber Springs comes in after them, and Heber Springs is another one they had Pea Ridge beat, and they lost. And I know it was of all of the losses, maybe besides the Dover, maybe besides the Poen losses. And I don't even know if I could even say that. Heber Springs' loss was probably the most traumatic of all the losses in the tournament.
Yeah,
it was
really
rough
was for them.
Forest City finishes number 8, D Queen number 9, and Pottsville number 10 there. And, again, you kind of get down to splitting hairs toward the end of it. But,
biggest come up for the 4A girls for me was Pea Ridge because Pottsville girls beat them in the regional.
Yeah.
And, it was a close game, but they got beat.
Berryville beat them.
Berryville beat them, too, if I could speak. And they just came out in the state tournament. And, granted, their seeding was good for them. They had good matchups to start with. And, bam, they were in the freaking finals.
Right.
Good for them. Like, seriously, that's a heck of a come-up after, a loss in the regionals like that.
Yeah.
Because were they the 4 seed?
They were
they're the 4 seed. Yeah,
made it all the way to the finals.
That ain't nothing to joke at.
That's it. They were tough. They played really tough. They played hard. They're a hard-nosed team, and
they were good. They were fun to watch.
Coach Heath Neal did a great job there of getting them going, especially at the end there. So congratulations to them as well. Unfortunately, no matter how well you play throughout the season, there's only one winner, and there's only 2 teams that make it to the finals. And only one of them gets to hoist the trophy. And yesterday, that was the Arkansas Razorbacks. I'm sorry. I'm still riding
the high. Yeah, me too, baby.
I'm still riding the high, man. I'm not even going to lie.
Sit them 4A boys.
All right, let's do the 4A boys. Hall, Mills, Magnolia, Shiloh Christian, Blytheville, Brooklyn, Fountain Lake, Ozark, Pottsville, Morrilton. Again, just looking at results. I mean, Hall took over Mills. I think if you play that game again, you might get a different result. I mean, those
Props
two.
to Hall though.
Right.
What may be their last season.
Pretty sure
as
it
a team.
is the way it's talked
Yeah.
about. It
I think
was
they
their
need like
last-
200 enrollees for next year to get it, and I just don't think they got the ability to get it.
Right.
I hate it for them because that's a storied program.
Right. Magnolia finishes number 3. Really, really good team. Shiloh Christian 4. Shiloh also a very good team. Blytheville's a very good team. Brooklyn's a very good team. Fountain Lake's a good team. Ozark was a good team. Pottsville also a good team. Pottsville really gave Blytheville all they wanted. In fact, there would be some people that would say that Pottsville should have won that game. I mean, it was very toward the end. It was really close. And then Morrilton had a really good team as well. They played Magnolia, got a little bit away from them at the end, but that Magnolia Morrilton, that's a real rivalry there.
It really is.
They've played each other in the state tournament several years now. The results have been very mixed. Morrilton has beaten Magnolia on their home floor. Magnolia has now beaten Morrilton on their home floor. And I don't know if you saw this, Justin, because you were down at the 1A. But one of the guys from Magnolia after the game, he said, I prayed, after Morrilton beat us, I prayed that we would play this game on this court at this time. And he said, we got the opportunity and we won. We took advantage of it. So congratulations to them.
We're proud of their Panthers down there. I tell you that.
They're good.
The town was a little bit emptier when I was going through. There wasn't hardly nobody around in the evening times because everybody was either there or ready to travel there to Morrilton. That's a 3-hour drive, I think.
Stan Escalante says, enjoying watching from Ewa Beach, and I don't know if I'm saying that right, Hawaii. Wow.
Heck yeah.
That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool right
Scotty
there.
McClure, Chad LaRose, Coach of the Year.
Yeah.
Don't disagree there.
Right. No other comments there. All right, let's go on to 5A real quick.
Yeah, the 4A was fun to watch. I watched a lot of it from my perch.
Yeah.
In Stamps. Where's my 5A boys? There they are.
We got 5A boys. You got Parkview again, kind of regaining the crown. Parkview was our number 1 team for quite a bit of the year. Marion was right up there as our number 2. Farmington was our number 3 quite a while. Benton, they fell a little bit below Greene County Tech. In fact, let me look at that real quick because there was something I noticed about Greene County Tech. I think Greene County Tech, and maybe it was the girls that were really like.
Oh, wait, I went straight
girls.
to 5A boys, not 5A girls. I'm sorry.
That's all right. We got
Here.
5. It's all right. We'll stay with
Okay.
it. Greene County Tech. Oh, no, it was the girls that I mentioned.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that in a minute. Little Rock Christian finishes in the number 5 spot. They really ran into a buzzsaw with Farmington at home. Farmington was ready to play, and then they really wanted to play Andrews. He got the best of the best with Farmington.
Yeah.
Farmington ended up beating Little Rock Christian there, and Marion ended up beating Farmington in the semifinals. And then you got Greenbrier, West Memphis, Alma, and Sheridan rounding out the top 10. I think you could probably take that and move it up and down however you wanted to. But
I saw them at the start of the year. They're a good basketball team.
Yep, they were. And again, I say this all the time, but I feel like the biggest jump between classifications at 4A to 5A, both in football and in basketball. I think that it's harder for 4A teams to compete in 5A. Now, when I say that, I really you got to take Mills out of the equation. Hall, Magnolia, those teams right there. But I think beyond that, I think you could probably say it's a big jump, especially in football. It's a really big jump. Benton was the defending champ. They finished number 4. Really played well in the state tournament. Lost to Parkview by 12. Ended up beating Greene County Tech by 19 and beat Maumelle by 21. So they had a good run there. Anyway, not a lot else to say. Thanks to Russellville Rehab or Nursing and Rehab for making that possible. Appreciate them for coming in and sponsoring those 5A rankings. I know that they're hoping that Russellville at some point will figure out a way to get up there in those rankings. I'm sure. All right, let's go to 5A girls. All right,
I'm better now.
all right. We got Farmington, obviously, and I got Mountain Home at the top. That one was one I looked at pretty hard. I know that I say I slot them, but sometimes, every great once in a while, you look at it and say, ugh. But we went ahead because Mountain Home again deserves it. They made it to the final. I think that they earned.
Even if Farmington
ranked,
lost the final, I still think I'm ranking them number 1. That's how good they were.
They earned that ranking.
They did.
Mountain Home did. Now,
yeah, they did.
Greene County Tech played Farmington tough as anybody did.
They did.
They only beat Greene County Tech by 8. And Greene County Tech really had a good run there in the tournament. So it was one of those things I was like, but Mountain Home deserved it. They made it to the end, and that's what matters. Nettleton, Valonia, Nettleton made it to semifinals. Lake Hamilton, Nettleton beat Lake Hamilton by 1, and that ended up being the difference in 2 spots in the rankings. Little Rock Christian, Greenbrier, Van Buren, and Valley View. Rounding out the top 10 there, and, again, people can probably poke holes in it, but that's what it is.
They can try.
Right. Lamar Wallace says Earl Bulldogs.
You ain't wrong, buddy. They were fun to watch down there in Stamps, man. I really enjoyed them.
Justin, he enjoyed his time down in Stamps.
I
right?
did.
Well, some of it anyway.
Some of it anyway.
Some of it not so much. All right, let's go on.
I enjoyed all the basketball. I can tell you that right now. There was,
that
we had some blowouts, but there was some mighty good basketball teams on
Yeah.
that court all week long, and they were fun to watch. 6A girls.
6A girls, North Little Rock finishes out at the top. Harbor finishes number 2. Northside 3. Bentonville West 4. Bentonville 5. And Fayetteville number 6. And if you look at that, that's 1 Central team and 5 West teams. That ended up, and just kind of how the bracket worked out. Looks like the strength of the 6A was in the West, but the Central was the team that had the top one, and that was North Little Rock. And Coach Darrell Fimple, he's won 6,500 state championships in his career at North Little Rock. He's done a great job over there. He is a fantastic basketball coach, one of the very best in the state. Not a lot else to say about it except that congratulations to North Little Rock. And let's talk about the boys real quick. The boys, you got Bryant. Bryant wins everything, right? They don't ever lose at anything anymore. Little Rock Central comes in at 2, Fayetteville 3, North Little Rock 4, Harbor 5, and Jonesboro 6. And again, slotting those, kind of how it worked out, but not else a lot to say except right. I mean, really, it seems like anytime you start a season right now, Bryant is the team that's going to win it in the 6A, right?
At least in boys sports, how good are they in baseball?
They're pretty good.
Yeah.
Pretty good. They have been in the past. So, anyway, I think that's it. Poen girls beat Dirks twice this year. Poen was a heartbreak for me. Yeah, we saw that. I'm interested to see what happens with them next year. Both of those
Blake,
are
I feel
teams.
Poen broke my heart back in 2002 as well.
Yeah,
twice.
Yeah.
Well, 3 times that year. They broke it when they beat my team. They broke it when they beat Hector, and then they broke it when they beat Hector again.
It was a fantastic basketball squad.
They really were. They were really good. Yeah.
Anyway,
let's talk about the big stinking elephant in the room, Brad.
What's that?
Hawks win the SEC championship, baby. We ain't talked about it really since we started this, and holy cow, I still can't believe it.
Right, like I said, riding high off of that one. 86-75 victory yesterday, if you didn't know that. Darius Acuff, I actually looked it up. Darius Acuff is 29 points away from having the most points scored in a season for Arkansas now. So
Yeah, he'll have that within the next 2 games.
I mean,
no problem.
Could probably have it in the first game.
He could
We'll
have
see.
it in the first game, yeah.
Arkansas gets to the 4 line.
We should have been 3.
Right, I agree. But here's the deal. The way the bracket was laid out, it looked like that Vanderbilt was the 4 and Arkansas was a 5. Arkansas was the 5 going to play Nebraska and Oklahoma City. And Vanderbilt was the 4. They would have gotten Arkansas's draw. I don't know if that was the best way for it to turn out for Arkansas, that 5 may have been a better way for it to turn out. I know that we could pat ourselves on the back and say, a 4 is better than a 5, and it is.
Sometimes
obviously,
it ain't.
But sometimes it ain't. I don't know if this was the best way because, again, can you imagine playing Nebraska and Oklahoma City, what that would have been like? That would have been a great atmosphere.
Yeah.
Arkansas, Nebraska in a 4-5 game for the Sweet 16.
Oh, Hog fans would have drowned them out.
Arkansas is playing really good right now. They're playing. I mean, you're talking about 10-2 in their last 12. The only 2 losses are the only 2 losses to Alabama and to Florida. Yeah, I mean, this is why you bring in John Calipari, right? I mean, Arkansas was about to bring in Chris Jans. Tell me where Chris at Mississippi State.
Oh,
tell me where Chris Jans is right now.
Getting beat.
He's not made the tournament. They didn't make it. They got beat in the first round, I believe.
Yep.
And I'm not saying Jans is a bad coach. He's a good coach.
Darius Acuff wouldn't have been playing for him though. I can guarantee you that right now.
No, and he's got an absolute stud there in Josh Hubbard. He's an absolute dog. I mean, in fact, he actually almost beat Acuff in scoring, but
almost
right. But now he doesn't have the ability to play any extra games, so he's definitely not going to beat him now. But yeah, Acuff, Brazil played well. Brazil really has played well over the last few weeks.
Yeah, he's come on. This is what we need from him right now. I need a little bit more from Malik Ewing, but I'm still not complaining. He's giving us good minutes, and he gets boards, and he scores.
I really felt like Nick Pringle gave Arkansas some of his best minutes.
He really has. I don't disagree with
Well,
that.
I felt like yesterday especially, I felt like Arkansas got some of the best minutes that they could have gotten from him. I don't know that he scored a bunch yesterday. In fact, looking at him, no, he didn't score any. He didn't even shoot a field goal attempt. He had 2 free throws, but he did have 6 rebounds. He had 1 steal, he had 2 blocks. Now, if you could get about 6 points out of him with that line, he played 22 minutes, which is an extended time for him. Ewan actually only played 18 minutes, which is different for him as well, which Pringle starts, Ewan plays the most minutes. That's just kind of how it works. Brazil had 16 points, 9 boards, 3 blocks. And the one block was –
man, that was a man.
The one block at the end of the game was really kind of a momentum changer. And he shot the ball well from the floor. He was 6 of 9. He was 4 of 5 from 3.
Yeah, that's a good night for him.
That was a big deal for him. Of course, you got Billy Richmond being Billy Richmond right now.
Billy Goat.
18 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists. No steals, which is actually surprising. He did have a block shot. I mean, he's just everywhere.
He played great defense.
Yeah.
You don't see it on the stat sheet, but there wasn't a whole lot of scoring from the guy he was guarding most of the night.
Malik Thomas didn't play his best game. He only had 7 points, 1 of 4 from 3. The thing about Thomas, though, I'll almost 4-degree guarantee this one. You ready for this? Thomas will have a big game in round 1 of the tournament because he just bounces back.
He does.
That's what he does. But DJ Wagner played very well.
He did. We got the great minutes from him. We don't win that game without the minutes.
23 minutes, 11 points. 3 of 5 from the field, 3 of 3 from 3, 2 of 3 from the free throw line. He had 4 assists, 4 rebounds, and a steal.
Exactly what we needed from him coming off the bench.
That was big. Looking at the rebounds, looked like 34 total to 36. We had 36 to. We out-rebounded them by 2. They did out-rebound us on the offensive glass.
Yeah, we need to change that going into this week.
They shot 38% for the game. That was a good number for Arkansas. That's something that you don't see a lot from this bunch right here. Is holding teams to 38% shooting. So anyway, it was a great game. It was a great game. Really well played game. A great aesthetic game for just TV, watching TV. It was a lot of fun.
Except the announcers were crowning Vanderbilt the whole time.
Well, I
That
mean,
gets annoying.
it just kind of is what it is at this point. If you don't expect that by now, I don't even know what to say. It does seem like Arkansas is a little bit of a redhead stepchild type of thing with the announcers, and I mean even the committee in some ways. The fact that them being a 4 seed, going out west, going to Portland, playing on a Thursday when they just got done playing on Sunday. I mean,
Yeah.
It didn't work out the very best for them. But with that said, Arkansas still won. And they still won a championship for the first time in 26 years. I mean, there are people that are watching right now that are not 26 years old, so they've never seen Arkansas win a tournament championship.
Yeah.
That was – did you tell me they had won the SWC 7 times?
6. I was
Six
wrong.
times,
6 times. They won 8 total conference titles.
Okay, so this is the 8th total. I mean, to be honest with you, when you think about that, that's actually a little surprising, especially with the basketball tradition that Arkansas has. I mean, they have almost as many Final Fours as they do conference championships.
Yeah.
And if you don't know, Arkansas does have 6 Final Fours to their credit. 1941, 1945, 1978.
What, 15th all time, something like that?
It's up there, 1990, 1994, 1995, and we're all waiting on one that is not 30 years ago now.
Yeah.
So it would be nice to see Arkansas make it to a Final Four, but, like I said, I'm not predicting that. I'd love to see it. Again, I'll eat crow if they make it, but I just don't see it happening. I think that they can make it out. I think that they can even pull an upset, maybe beat an Arizona, but then you got to turn around and do another one. But at the same time, there won't be a game that they play that they don't have the very best player on the field or on the court, I should say.
Oh, you ain't wrong about that. And let's say, there's an argument about Cam Boozer, but that's an argument,
Right.
Because Cam has had a great year.
And if
Man,
Arkansas's
he's
playing
good.
Duke at that point,
Yeah,
I
if
mean,
Arkansas's playing Duke at that point, hey, I'm good with it.
Right.
Wherever we're at, I'm good with it because that literally
Well,
puts us in the national championship
well,
game.
if
we play Duke.
That Arkansas and Duke are starting to run across each other again. That's
Yes.
been years and years and years and years since that happened, and now it's happening more, which means that Arkansas is back. If you haven't read that article there on the Arkansas Sports Network, go look at that right now. I wrote the article yesterday talking about people that are waiting on Arkansas basketball to be back. Arkansas basketball is back, and it's fun.
If we get there, I'm telling you, we gotta make it happen. We need to interview J.W. Wetzel.
Yeah.
Just because that kid hates Duke, he hates Texas. He's the perfect kid on here because he's already got the shirts.
I love it. Well, he's been taught right, I can tell you.
He has. Of course, his dad, diehard Hog fan. His mother is a diehard Tar Heel, and you won't find Duke anywhere near them.
Yeah.
Which I applaud because I hate Christian Leitner too.
Right. Now, the interesting thing about Hawaii is very tall.
Yeah, they are.
It's a team that I think they start a 6'8" small forward, 6'9" 4-man, and a 7-foot center.
Yeah.
So
That's going to cause us fits.
Those are the type of teams that have given Arkansas problems this year, the bigger teams. I do think athletically Arkansas is going to really give them fits athletically.
Just a cuff. That's all you got. That's almost all you got to say.
You got to throw Brazil in there too.
Yeah, I'm throwing Brazil in there, but A Cup's gonna be feeding
Richmond
them.
as well. Richmond is so athletic. I mean those three right there are going to give a lot of people problems.
Mm-hmm.
But don't write them into the Sweet 16 just yet. I think that Wisconsin, not a real big team, Wisconsin is, so we should match up well. And again, you've got A Cup. They don't.
Yeah.
that being said, anything can happen. I mean, I know that John Calipari did not make it past the first or the second round, I should say, his last 5 years at Kentucky, which is what a lot of people were trying to figure out. What are we getting in John Calipari? Well, I think you're finding out, right? I mean, last year made the Sweet 16.
The man just needed a fresh.
He did.
He needed some fresh air. And I'm sorry, you ain't getting no fresh air in Lexington, freaking Kentucky. You're just not. It's a beautiful city. I ain't dogging it. But the simple truth is, all they do is live blue. And when you have to deal with that every day, it's a wonder he hasn't gone insane yet.
Right.
I would have. I mean, just having to coach that craziness, goodness. Like,
Yeah.
those people are nuts.
It is.
They're a cult.
It is different. It is different over there for sure. And
It's like Auburn football. Like, what is wrong with y'all?
but what I think Arkansas is now 26-8 on the year.
Yeah.
26 wins is like seventh most ever in Arkansas history, and every win that you have from here on out, I think, slides up a rung. 34 wins was the most with Todd Day, Lee Mayberry, Oliver Miller in 1991. It was actually a year that we blew a halftime lead to Roy Williams, Kansas team, and we ended up losing that game. I thought
talk about that.
We had it sewn up. Everybody was writing.
That was like 7.
Everybody was writing in that year Arkansas versus UNLV Part 2, and then UNLV got upset in the Final Four by Duke. Arkansas didn't even make the Final Four that year, which was a little bit upsetting. Boy, we need to send prayers over to Justin right now.
Shut up.
Anyway, then I'm trying to think here. Well, you know what? I don't have to think. I'm going to go.
The records exist.
Well, man, I'll tell you right now. If you're a fan of Arkansas basketball, hogstats.com is a place that you can go find just about anything that you want to find. And, I mean, just some of the most random stats ever. Most wins in a season, 34 wins in 90, 91, 32 wins in 77, 78, 32 wins, 94, 95, 31 wins in 93, 94, 30 in 89, 90, 28, 21, 22, 27, and 14, 15, 26 this year. So if they win the first round game, they will be in the 7th spot. If they win the second round game, they'll be in the 6th spot. And if they were able to get to the Final Four, then they would move up into the top 5 in wins for a season.
Not bad. Not bad at all.
I mean, again, when you're sitting here waiting on Arkansas to be back.
Yeah.
4 Sweet 16s in the last 5 seasons. 4 in the last 5, which is only the second time in history that that's ever happened. The run that we had in 1990, or from 90 to 96, we had 6 Sweet 16s in 7 seasons. In that, there were 3 Final Fours. Now, that's what Arkansas is missing right now.
10-2 to finish the season, Sean.
I don't even know what to say to all that. Yeah, 2-6, right?
2-6.
Anyway, Arkansas's missing a Final Four right now. But if Arkansas finds a way, if they could find a way in the next 2 to 3 years to find themselves in multiple Final Fours and maybe play for a national championship, you could make an argument that this run is as good, maybe even better, depending on how the decade closes out. That's how good things have been.
Hey, Cal got a pretty good recruiting class to start off for next year. My
And he'll
goodness.
have another one in 27.
Yeah. Oh,
I
you
mean,
ain't lying.
it's just the way it is.
He stacks them. Get them high school kids, coach.
If he can figure out a way to get a little bit tougher on the inside, Arkansas might find a way to do it.
Yeah, we do need a little bit more physicality there, a little bit more meat. We just need a bigger dude. I mean, I'm sorry, but we need a Shaq. Honest to God, we need a Shaq to tear off the rim every time he's down there.
Right.
Or to somebody who's that kind of a threat. that you can't give that guy an inch of space. You can't let him drop step or he's going to put his elbows in the rim.
Right. Anyway, great time. Thursday, Arkansas plays. From my understanding, Arkansas plays at 3:30 on Thursday, which means that I'm going to be watching on my phone from the Pottsville Apache baseball field because we've got Pottsville, my Pottsville team, my little 10U team, throwing out the first pitch, all 14 kids. So,
Well, fun.
yeah, that's all right. That's all right. We'll,
No, it sounds fun. Good for them.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Yeah. But anyway, again, if you're a big fan of Hog basketball right now, enjoy what you're watching. Enjoy it because, you know, I know that when I was a kid, I felt like it was my birthright to watch Arkansas basketball win.
You ain't
I
lying.
never felt like that we'd ever see a time like we saw for 25 years where you didn't make the Sweet 16. But here you are now. You're back making the Sweet 16. You know, I don't know.
We had a little glimmer of hope with Matt Jones when he was, playing football and basketball. He come play some basketball, and it was fun, dunking again. And
There's been good
that was
moments.
the glimmer. Yeah.
There've been good moments, but
Nothing like '94.
I mean, Bobby Portis's team there was a
good.
really good team, and they got paired up with North Carolina as the 4 seed. I mean, it just seemed like every year there was always something. And they love to pair us up with North Carolina. I think they did that 3 years, 3 out of 4 years, which those North Carolina teams at that time were playing for the national championship.
Yep.
So, Arkansas wasn't quite on that level. And then you also lost Qualls and you lost Bobby Portis when both of them had actually committed to coming back to Mike Anderson.
Yeah.
That was tough. I mean, there's been all kinds of stuff. I mean, it just hadn't went their way, but it seems to be going their way now. And that's the important thing. So, anyway, I think this is it for today. Appreciate you joining us here on ASN Now. We'll come back and we'll talk a little bit more about the NCAA and hope you've enjoyed this and join us up. And if you haven't already joined our bracket challenge, go ahead and do that. In fact, what I'm going to do right now, let me see if I can do this. Can I put this bracket or this? I'm going to try it anyway. We'll see if it'll if it's right or not. In the chat right now, I'm going to put our bracket. Will it let me do it?
I don't know.
Well, it's there. I don't know if it's right or not, but it's there. I'm going to put that in the chat. Capital G, go. Capital H, Hogs. 247 is the password. Join us. And like I said, we're paying out 3 places. And we'd love to have you a part of that. So anyway, guys, that's it for today. Appreciate you joining us, and we'll talk to you soon.